Oh, I would have to say Charlie Schwartz in probably like 7th or 8th grade. He was a teacher of mine in high school, and he was doing a lot of interesting things himself, and he really challenged us to. We couldn't just come up with one idea. We had to look at lots of concepts and really, push our ideas and develop them. And I still keep in touch with him. He's a neat guy. The main thing he did was not agree with the first thing. We had to keep thinking about it and developing ideas and push the idea to develop it and make it more interesting. I think it has to be considered a spiritual pursuit to really understand why somebody would stick with it. I think it's a challenge to remain committed to really doing your best. Well, this exhibit at the Chandler Center for the Arts is called Undivided Attention, and the name of it comes from sort of the duality of painting and sculpture, that I work in both. I work in a lot of different mediums, and this brings together the two mediums. And the core pieces in this exhibit are half painting on panel in acrylic and half metal that's welded with patinas. And I'm showing that even though the composition might be divided into the two parts, my attention isn't. So I'm creating some sort of composite or hybrid image of these two different mediums. That all of these are a reflection of this sort of inner world that I experience in one way or another. They're all showing different aspects of it. So I don't really want to just narrow it down to only paintings or only metal. I want to keep showing, I want to show different views of this world that I'm discovering, and it's going to involve painting and metal and probably some other things as it goes along. I feel like I've been really fortunate that I haven't hit a wall where I felt like the well was running dry, touch wood. I think travel is really important. I think sometimes getting to the end of a project, like after we installed the show, just taking a few days and, being a bum, I think it's really important. It kind of also reminds me of your question about the schools. When you asked me about art education, the other thing that came to mind was physical education being ignored in schools. And kids are a lot less active than we were growing up. And I think that's a really important part. And I kind of reconnected with, I used to always do lots of, activities. And I kind of got back into that this summer. And it really, that really gives my creative energies a big boost. There's something to be said for just getting out of your mind. This whole idea of working with your hands has really become important for me, and it's something that I noticed as I got into, as my skills working with the metal developed. So I wasn't constantly thinking duh, how do I do that? I just started like, I know how to make a leaf and hammer it and patina it. And it's beautiful. And I read a book by Frank Wilson, who is a neurologist, and he worked with a lot of piano, I think musicians, but piano players, and rehabilitating their hands. And he ended up studying the interaction between using your hands and the brain, and how that's actually a really important part of development as a young child. That by doing things with your hands, so not on a computer screen, and then observing it, your brain would actually develop. It actually allowed your brain to develop to its maximum.